getting levels on there. Great. Cool. Right, I'm ready for my little opening spiel. Thank you to everyone who's listened so far for bearing with me. Hey everyone, we're back with another Spaces. Are we bringing back PurrCast? We can call it PurrCast again. I'm joined as always by Carlini. It is Wednesday the 9th of February, but in the guest chair this week, we have a dear friend of the community, Henry the Grape. Good evening, sir. How are you doing this week?
Yeah, great, man. Great. Yeah, super happy to be with you. I'm doing awesome. Thank you.
Fantastic. Carlini, how's your illness factor? You sound 100% again. Feeling good?
Something's coming back.
80%?
Well, no, I hit 100, but now I'm back on the decline.
We ramped back up, but now we're kind of you're doing okay. It's fine.
Well, I have kids. Before kids, I had 0 days off work, basically ever. Like, my record was perfect. Then I had a kid who went to nursery, and I was ill all the time, but I worked for myself, so I had to just work. Then the pandemic happened, and I wasn't ill again because he didn't go to nursery. And now they're back at nursery, and I'm screwed.
Yeah, just hanging out with little germ boxes all the time. That's how it goes.
Little germ boxes. That's good.
That's what we get. So tonight, I think as usual, we'll go through a few little bits and pieces of housekeeping. There's been a lot going on both with Penelope's, both with NFT news in general. Henry, want to kind of catch up with you and your little rebrand and what's been going up with you. So we'll kind of go through all that. And then we've got a bunch of questions this week from the community. So we'll save a little bit of time for that as we go through. So first off, Henry, for people who don't know you, what is your deal? What have you been up to? I say rebrand. I've always known you as Yoda, but obviously, things have changed somewhat.
Yeah, it's been an interesting and wild kind of ride, especially the last few months. So, yeah, I would say most everybody in Penelope's knows me as Yoda because when I initially came into Web3, I was NFT Yoda, and when I got my first Genesis Kong, I named him Henry the Grape, which somehow stuck as people in Kongs started calling me Henry, thinking like that was my first name. So when I took on the role of community manager, they had asked what email address I wanted for Kongs. And I had said, Yoda at CyberKongs. And somebody had said, well, I think it should be Henry. And it just kind of brought up this discussion of, well, yeah, having two different names maybe doesn't make a lot of sense. So which way do you want to go? And I kind of decided I talked to some people and it just seemed like it made sense to just ride with this alter ego Henry. Because, what happens if like Lucas Arts or, George Lucas decides he wants to come after me for using Yoda, which obviously would never happen. But it was just this crossroads of what makes more sense. So for the record, I am totally cool with anybody who knows me as Yoda calling me Yoda, because there's just some people that after, a year and change, it's kind of hard to start calling somebody something different. So I'm good with Yoda, but I'm also cool with people calling me Henry.
I love it.
So that's kind of the rebranding. It's weird. It's when I went to NFT NYC, I didn't know what to introduce myself as. I have like my name in real life. I had Yoda and I had Henry, and it was weird and awkward. So I kind of like consolidating to one name.
Yeah, that makes sense. It can get a bit confusing. I love just how like in this space, it's like, it feels, I start feeling like it's the Matrix again. It's like, well, I can just decide what I'm called. Like, this is my name and this is what you can present to people. I'm pretty sure last night, no one knew my actual name because when I first came up, I messed up my headphone setup for some reason. It was late, right? And then I kind of just didn't reintroduce myself at any point. And then someone tweeted at Carlini, which I saw, like, oh, hey, Carlini, great spaces, man. I was like, oh, no.
You know what's interesting? You have two names as well.
I do.
So
true.
You had to go through that too.
Yeah.
So, some people know you as Peter and some as Papa. And you've had to deal with this, so you can probably give me advice on how to handle the transition.
You just go with it. Whatever people want to call you, as long as you're happy with both, I don't think it really matters. I'm only called Papa because that's NATO phonetic alphabet for the P in Peter. So I was like, well, that'll be easy. So then I won't forget anything. And then
So
he's just kind of grown from there as the character that I play, I guess.
I always wondered where I'm like, did I miss something, like some giant backstory to Papa? But as a phonetic alphabet, used to be a radio man in the Coast Guard, I can appreciate using Papa as your moniker.
Well, there we go. Exactly. And there we go. Now the secret's out. So that's awesome, man. So you're community manager for CyberCongs now. They've obviously been on a big tear recently. That huge announcement that they had with the play to collect, which is really, really cool. Kind of adding so much more utility and so much more to that space. You've been on CyberCongs for a while, right?
Yeah, came on in June was when I initially traded my board ape for my first Kong.
Amazing.
And I've always loved this relationship between Penelopes and CyberKongs. Like from the breeding party, and we obviously have 2 of them in the Penelopes vault, 2 Jenny Kongs, a couple VXs, I think maybe a baby.
We do have a baby from said breeding party.
Dude, so I've always loved this connection, and I love when communities get to connect. So it's always been important to me that there's some, if you want to call it like a symbiotic relationship between the 2.
Yeah.
I know there's lots of holders of Kongs in Penelopes, and there's lots of Purrs that have Kongs, and I love it. So this is, to me, like a kind of a match made in heaven.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's perfect. That's actually our latest community vote. Kind of relates to that. We've got it at the moment. If you're a Purr holder, you can go to Snapshot. Links in the Discord. If you can't find it, just tag me and I'll get it for you. Of what to do with our latest crop of banana, because those Jenny Kongs just don't stop making banana. They won't stop. So we're deciding on what to do with that at the moment. I believe the leading vote at the moment is hold the banana.
Ooh.
Because I'm hoping, with the vault being as it is, with the VXs that we have in there and the babies and the 2 Genesis, that we can kind of engage in that game as well potentially. Because that was some exciting
Carlini
stuff.
can go full on D-Gen mode playing the adventure runs.
Surely not
with the VXs.
I guess that's possible with the vault as it is at the moment, Carlini.
Currently, yeah. When Fractional 2.0 comes out, I imagine not.
It'd be interesting.
Yeah, super interesting.
But hey, there we go. Fantastic. So yeah, I mean, great to have you on, man. So like, just to hang out, just to catch up, just to chat a little bit. So that's really cool. I want to get into. I kind of mentioned the community voting stuff. In terms of that, we've got like Roadmap 2.0 coming, which I don't think we've been very coy about. We've announced, that's coming this month. We want to get that out there of what we're building to next. So that's like a big topic that I wanted to touch on tonight. I've had a good question through, Carlini, from edge.pcc.eth, which is quite a wordy question, which suits me because I like kind of giving you a really long run up for my questions. So Edge says, with Roadmap 2.0 approaching, the final airdrop dropping, and token on the horizon, do you feel the same amount of pressure / responsibility to provide value to the people buying Purrs at higher price points, or does the new roadmap and token take some of the pressure off? Meaning, do you feel that Roadmap 2.0 and token will turn heads and provide the value in new Purr purchases at price points in the multiple ETH? There's a lot of P's at the end. So yes.
I mean, that pressure will always be there, no matter what the price is, because if the price goes up because of when we fire out Roadmap 2.0 and people see what's on it and what's coming, if that causes the price to go up, the price can only go up with people buying. So that would then be pressure to deliver for the new people that are buying at that new price, right?
Yeah.
So price going up will never sort of satisfy it, because price has to go up for someone to buy. So we will always be sort of trying to deliver on that price, so the pressure doesn't really leave. What is nice is the monthly airdrop will be gone. Sort of setting that sort of time frame wasn't the greatest of ideas, just because I feel like we're just constantly scrambling to get something out, and then once that's out, what we're actually doing is adding another project on top of all the other airdrops that we're trying to get out at the same time. So the hoodies are coming, the models are coming, the comic is underway, the records, they're all ongoing, and it's sort of like having to add a new project every month.
It's a
Which,
lot of spinning plates.
yeah, a month isn't actually that long when you have to do lots of stuff. I thought it'd be fine. I mean, it's been fine, right? It's been okay, but if I could do it again, I would change that. So with them going, it will allow us to focus more. So, for example, Kongs have just, they've released their game almost. I mean, not out of nowhere. They've been working very hard on it, and they started hyping it when they knew it was close, so they were able to work on it sort of in the background, whereas we have to announce what's coming every month. So it'll be much better when we've moved over to Token and can kind of let people in on it once it's a bit further down the line.
Yeah, definitely. I think once we've executed on all of those aspects of the airdrops that we've got, as you said, I think it kind of gives us a lot more flexibility. If we'd said, we're gonna be releasing 8 airdrops, that's like a roadmap activation, then it gives us a little bit more time. But it's still something that I'm kind of happy that we've done, because it's just been part of how we've been working it. It's like the question I got asked yesterday on Spaces, which is like, "Hey, you're doing all this stuff. How do you do it?" And I was like, there's quite a few of us, and we all work really hard, I guess. But it's the time that we run short of. But so I think you're right on that. So Edge, hopefully that answers your question for you. Want to chuck you another one, Yoda, whilst you're here. Of the airdrops that we've announced so far, the ones that everyone knows about, because you're a little bit behind the curtain as well, but the ones that everyone knows about, what's been your favorite so far, or which physical delivery are you most excited for?
Yeah, so honestly, I'm just very much looking forward to the hoodie drop. I love merch, so I'm loving the idea of it. Can't wait to see it. Probably will never wear it, but I just like the idea of having physicals. I just think it's awesome. And can I just say one thing, completely unrelated to what you asked?
Yeah.
But credit to Penelope's for the ENS subdomains, and it segues over to Kongs, because the ENS subdomain contract that HODL made was the footprint for Kongs, which are also going to be doing an ENS subdomain. So to the credit of HODL and Penelope's, like, it's just another innovative thing that the project brought to the space, and I think it's something that you and the community should be super proud of.
Yeah, thanks, man. Oh, we definitely are. I think HODL put that into the contract when he was writing it. It's like, this works with, I think, any like ERC 721, I believe. It works with anything like that, which should be able to be used literally as is. So plug and play. If any other projects want to do it, that contract is there and says, like, as part of it, feel free to use it, because that's how we all win in this space, I think. I think, Carlini, you mentioned it last week, of like, just chatting with Al about all of that sort of stuff and what's coming, and like us giving him ideas and him giving us ideas, and like with other people that you talk to in the space, and like Yoda, I'm sure it's the same for you. Like, you talk with people and it's like, oh, like but what if we did that, but like this twist, and they're like, oh, I really like the twist you put on that. What if we did that? And you kind of like everything just kind of builds on top of each other.
Yeah, that's the key, I think, to the success of the space. I obviously am not in the space as long as like Carlini back to like CryptoKitties, but I feel like at the very beginning there was sort of like a isolationist attitude towards a lot of projects where reaching out and helping was not a thing. And, just what is it, 1 or 2 weeks ago when you and I were on a call, voice chat, 9:30 at night, my time. So goodness, must have been what, 3 a.m. your time. I think you were on the way back from having a night out.
That was real.
Do you remember this?
This
was a real thing. Yeah. And what happened was the CryptoBats Discord was compromised, and it was me, you, and Joe, who's also a Penelope but works with VFriends, that were on a call just trying to figure out how to help another project. And I think this idea of, like you said, building off of an idea somebody else had, or helping each other out is, I think, what's going to make this space like an amazing thing to be a part of. And I'm really digging it. I really am.
Yeah, for sure. I think you can kind of tell from some of the projects that the space I was on last night, some of the way that they were speaking about their projects and stuff that they're doing and trying to do things right. I think it was Sims who's in with non-fungible fungi, which looks super cool, by the way. I was like, oh man, like these look awesome. Like they're all like little mini animations and stuff. And he was just talking. It was like I was like kind of like, bro, you're stealing all my good points here, because it's like you're building everything slowly and deliberately and like legally and like consulting with people and stuff. I'm like, oh man, but that's what we're doing. But it's like that's good. It puts all of those sorts of projects on a different level. It feels like
it does, dude. You were spot on. Like we've been on this journey for over 6 months now, and it's cool to see that, like, not only are we still here, but the best of this project is literally what's ahead for us.
Exactly. It's exciting. Let's get into another question. Let's do that. This one from Copernicus. So not a question per se. He says per se, like per as in Penelope, which I enjoy. After listening to Spaces yesterday about the Mint Day, it got me curious about it. Could you tell us the story of how it went down? Excited to hear more about it. So, Carlini, can you remember Mint Day?
No.
I knew you were going to say that.
Well, what is Mint Day?
So Mint Day, I guess Mint Day is kind of two, right?
Sellout Day.
Sellout Day was probably more fun.
Well, Mint Day, I guess. Mint Day was terrible.
Mm.
We're doing loads of stuff behind the scenes because we'd given like a mint date out on maybe the Monday, and it was a Friday or a Saturday or something, and we'd set it for a certain time and date, and we couldn't really push that back, and something cropped up that we had to fix, like all hands on deck for ages and ages. And then we started the mint, and we get past 1,000.
I think we did.
And then we offered the Bored Ape to be fractionalized to the first 2,000 people to try and convince more people to come in, and then eventually it just took until my sale of NFT boxes had officially gone through, so that we could release this Medium article and sort of tweet storm that just said, hey, we're not actually anon, this is why we're anon, it's me, been NFT in a long time, this is what we're going to do. And it was just mint, wasn't it? It was...
Yeah, that all went crazy. I think it was because like you were trying to like upload. We were trying to make sure that all the metadata, like the reveal, was like as we went, rather than like like a day after or 2 days after or whatever else. So yeah, sellout day was wild, and I'm like such a cool kind of experience to then see of like, oh, like you coming out saying like, oh, by the way, this project's mine. And it's like, oh, cool, okay, and then it sells out. It's like, whoa, that was really fun. Ebo.pcc.e, great name, just reminded. I don't know if you want to talk about this yet again, Yoda, but Mint Day was the day that you got hacked, I think.
Oh, dude, it was. So sellout day was it. Okay, sellout day was awesome for the project. That was the day that I was nice enough to hand out my seed phrase to somebody, and decided
we can laugh about it now. It's okay.
Yeah. So the greatest thing about that day was if I had gotten compromised, let's say 1 day later, all of my PURs would have been gone. But because of the timing of it, the I'll call him the hacker, even though like he didn't hack me, I got keylogged. So he did not know what Penelope Country Club NFTs were. So he didn't touch any of them. He was going for things like my Ape and my Kongs and Punks comics. So really the greatest thing was, now don't get me wrong, I was like frantic in the moment. And I remember getting DMs from Huda and just about every other, person in Idiots about like, the sellout. You could feel the energy. And I remember just thinking like, oh, I want to be excited about this, but I'm like kind of devastated. Yeah. But I didn't lose a single cat. So it was an awesome day because in the end, I didn't lose any cats. And you know what? It was a big lesson to me. And I was fortunate enough that I was able to recover from it where a lot of people aren't able to. So like did it suck? Yes. Am I grateful that I'm still where I am right now? Yeah. Very grateful. And it was because of like really good friends in the space that helped out that day to help me kind of get through that. So yeah, a little bit of a different perspective on my end that day, but in the end, it all worked out like perfect. Never would have thought that. What are we like 5 months later? I just wouldn't have pictured that in 5 months, I wouldn't remember it the same way. Like it's almost like, and this is going to sound stupid, but it's almost one of the best things to have happened in a really weird way. I know that sounds off, but I met awesome people. I got to see how people in the space act, the acts of kindness that they show. And it was a huge lesson in taking this stuff incredibly serious and practicing safe, like security practices when you're NFTing it up.
Yeah. It's always it's always good to be safe out there. I feel that like with what you said there, like it was almost like I don't know how to phrase this properly, but it's like that was kind of when I feel like you went from someone who was like having a lot of fun to it. So like it felt like it got a bit more serious for you. But then I feel like you took everything like more seriously about it from then on, and then kind of like obviously to where you are now, community managing CyberCongs is obviously amazing for you, man. So I'm so happy for that.
It got real.
Kind of, yeah.
It got real. I got a little more serious, and I think in afterwards, when I would kind of go out and tell the story of what happened, just like honestly what happened, I think it gave a little more exposure to. I don't mean that in an arrogant way at all. It's just in a sea of lots of people. Sometimes it's something weird like that all of a sudden it's like, oh, I remember that guy. He's the dude who gave out a seed phrase. And so, yeah, then from there, it's like everything's kind of everything is picked up quickly. And there is no, Carlini had the luxury of coming in the space in 2017. So he was like, you have those people that were the people that people looked up to because they were here for years. So they like understood the space. Well, the class of, I think it was Alamo who used the phrase like the class of 21, which I like that. I'm like, oh yeah, like we are the class of 21. Like the class of 21, we're not OGs. We're not the guys that were in since 17 or 18. And so it's just been a weird thing to all of a sudden be community manager of CyberCongs, and all of a sudden people are asking you questions like like more than them. And to a certain degree, you do to the guy who only came in September or October. There's a lot of those guys out there. So yeah, it's been wild, dude.
It is wild. Yeah, I think just in our Discord at the moment, I think the show just said something like, "I've been in the space for 2 months and it feels like 2 years." It's like, yeah, it's wild how like everything kind of goes really fast but really slow at the same time. It's yeah,
You know what?
it's
You
wild.
know, it's a funny, just a quick little story that I remembered was when we did the breeding party. I don't know if you remembered when I gave my seed phrase away. Like the seed phrase to that wallet that had already been compromised. So we gave it away. And I remember Carlini saying, we were on the stage and he said, well, we don't want anybody coming back and saying anything about, like somebody's going to lose money over it. And it was kind of decided like, yeah, but if anybody's going into that wallet, accept whatever comes of it, And like the next day, somebody DM'd me saying, "Hey, I put ETH in that wallet to get some NFTs out, and I lost it, and wanted to get refunded. Like it was something like $33 or something like that, $33 worth of ETH." I'm like, "Yeah, dude, that's just the chance you take playing in that wallet, my friend."
That's what you get. That's what you get for playing around with a compromised wallet.
That's it. That's it. It's a wild ride.
I sent out. It was just like a Bored Ape meme, giving away seed phrase, which I guess is also a Henry the Great meme. I tweeted something like, I'm trying to scroll through my tweets, but I sent too many, so I can't find it. But it was something like, everyone stop being so mean about Bored Apes. They don't always give away their seed phrases. I have a Bored Ape myself, and then it was just like I'd gone onto some sort of seed phrase generator, and it was a real seed phrase that had never ever been used, but it would work. And I just posted, it's like as a joke, he's given away a seed. Let me see if I can scroll up, and then I got a DM maybe 2 weeks later. Yeah, so the tweet says, "I'm often asked, does Penelope CC Kitty Vault in brackets rebranding have a Bored Ape in it? Online, Lemon, Mosquito, Bachelor, Observe, Aware, Shove, Defense, Serial, Tennis, Melody, Business, Outer, Vast, Fluid, Village, Elite, Spawn, Smooth, Buddy, Submit, Claim, Ability, Upgrade." You tell me. 2 weeks later, someone deposits over 6 ETH into that wallet.
No.
Oh my god.
Like, it has never been used. And I've spoken to a few people, and the odds of someone being given that exact seed phrase, like via MetaMask or Rainbow or whatever, that shortly is in the trillions to one. Like it didn't happen, right? It was they have used my tweet almost certainly, like 99.99999%. They've gone to the tweet and thought it was a good idea. And someone sent me a DM saying, "Hey, so I was trying to explain to my girlfriend how easy it is to get sort of, everything drained if you give away your seed phrase. So here's an example. I remember Carlini had tweeted one out. So this seed phrase, if anyone knows, they can always get into your wallet." And he just copied it and he pasted it into MetaMask, loaded it up, and there was just 6 ETH. I think it was.
Oh, no way.
ETH sitting in there, and what they'd done is they'd sent 6 in and then bought 3 ETH worth of a shit coin or something.
Oh my god.
And
whoa,
he sent me a DM and was like, "Is this a honeypot? If I try and take this out, it's gonna be wrecked somehow. Will it be automatically front run or something like that?" And I was like, "What?" Sure. And I said something like, "Surely it'll be a honey trap. Like someone is." I thought at that moment in time, someone had taken this joke, set up the wallet with ETH, and then they were using it as a honeypot themselves, thinking maybe someone will see it. Nope. This person just removed the ETH. I think they did notice whoever put the ETH in, because they transferred some amount of ETH. I can't remember. I'm just scrolling through this conversation. 2 ETH. They sent 2 ETH from account 1 to account 2. You know how, like, in your MetaMask, add wallet gives you a new one. and then they sent it out somewhere else. So I don't know if they'd set up alerts on the wallet or something like that, but they just lost all their ETH because, I don't know, they used someone else's front door keys for their new house.
Oh my
So
gosh,
weird.
that's
So
nuts.
weird. Yeah, like taking the locks off someone else's house and putting on yours, and then you're like, "Oh, what's this other person doing in my house?" It's like, well, they've got the keys, haven't they?
Dude, it's so weird.
That's amazing.
And like the ENS name of the person who sent it in was like big brain, big brain, big brain, big brain. It was like the emoji for brain. Like, well, that doesn't add up.
Fake news.
Dude, I love this Grape VX Penelope that Donut just posted in the Discord. That is so
I love
good.
it. Well, I think it's a reaction to a question from the shield.pcc.eth. Great name. Question for Henry. When PurrCongs, and according to Donut, the time is now.
The time is now.
It's already happened.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, I think crypto bats have shown you can. I mean, realistically, you could take the metadata between any NFTs and create a new collection. So it's possible.
Such a
I don't
cool
know all
idea.
the. Yeah, it is. It's a really interesting idea. I think we'll probably see more of that.
I think so. I think yeah. Like I mean, we're definitely trying to get into it more this year. I think it's part of Roadmap 2.0, where it's like just more collaboration. So we're doing collabs as part of our latest airdrop, which was the Record Cat, lovingly known as DJ Purr. So we're working with some really cool artists to get some music onto physical vinyl, but also then we can put that music out digitally as well, obviously. So I had some really exciting conversations so far. Believe they might actually be listening in the spaces. So hello, mysterious stranger. So yeah, so really fun kind of working on that, and then yeah, working on other collaborations as well. Just projects that have kind of reached out to us that we probably didn't want to do anything about before, but now we're kind of in a space I think where we feel a little bit more secure and sure of where we are with the community and with what we're doing and with where we're going to next, that we kind of want to start spreading the word a little bit more. We're kind of happier with where we are as a project, which leads me very nicely to another question. Look at this link play we're doing here. Oh my gosh.
It's like you've done this before.
Right. So this was another question from edge.pcc.eth saying, what was it about Pieland, aside from loving pies, that led PCC to doing a small collab with them? Full disclosure, I already have my pies pre-ordered for tomorrow's baking. Do we plan on utilizing anything like their upgradable contract within the country club?
Well, it was because I knew Al Dumbo pre NFTs. So I've said before, like I brought in Prank to the space. Also in this sort of Slack gambling world was Hoddle, our dev, and then Al Dunco, who runs Pyland, was there as well. So I had no worry that Pyland wouldn't be run well because I knew he'd run it. He's reputable. He's done all of the work with Dapper on Top Shot and their more recent releases of late. So it was just when you want to give out whitelist spots for people who sort of trust your judgment, then I want to give out the white spots to people whose judgment I trust. So it's like a chain of trust, I guess. So yeah, Pyland, I was happy to do that, and it kind of bucked our trend of no whitelists, and maybe that will keep up a bit if this sort of stupid meta is going to stay around for a while.
I think there's like a semi pushback on it, just on like the kind of the grindiness of some whitelists. There seems to be like a little bit more of the kind of is organic whitelisting a thing? Am I going to try and make that a phrase? But you know what I mean in terms of like, well, it's like, okay, well, click this button if you want whitelist, and it's like, oh, hey, like you won. Like having it more as a raffle feels less like manipulative, I guess. And I get the second. Sorry, yeah, go on.
Mechaverse, people hate it, but I think that's the best hyped launch I've seen. They had that raffle, which I know could be gamed. It was still quite costly to game. So I think that was the best one we've seen. I would like to see a project do a Dutch auction, starting too high, like it should not sell out. It's too high, not sort of the art blocks too high where it was too high, but then it sold out instantly, and then it comes down and comes down and comes down. But the price the first person pays. So say we did a sale and we started at 10 ETH, and one person bought at 10 ETH, and then everyone else bought at 0.5, and 0.5 was the last price. Then the first person would be refunded 9.5 Ethereum, and everyone pays 0.5. So you're kind of doing price discovery, but the people who go in first don't get wrecked because they then get a refund up to the last point. So no one's doing some kind of gas wars at the end, because everyone can just go in if they want one at whatever price, they can buy one and know that they will get refunded whatever it ends at. Although I think it's moving over to allow lists is the phrasing they'll be using.
What's the difference between an allow? I can't even say it. An allow list and a whitelist.
I believe it's the word white.
We're getting politically correct with it, but what's better? I'm trying to think, like gas wars benefit deep pockets, or I mean, for the most part I think they do. And whitelists, if you're not being whitelisted through a raffle or through let's say like a partner project or whatever you want to call it, the grinding of whitelists is, I've never done it. It's awful. I remember trying to do it on one project when they were trying to do that, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. Or weeks trying to grind for a whitelist on one project. It's almost impossible to keep up on. So how much better, like getting whitelisted through whatever means. Oh, I hold this, so I got whitelisted, or gas wars. I kind of like the idea of the raffle. I mean, that's how the Kongs do it. If you hold their NFT, then there's a raffle. It's pretty fair that way, at least for the holders.
I also really like
allow lists for secondary sales. So when you've already got a project, and to get on the allow list, you hold the primary project. Then it's rewarding your community in a sort of gasless way.
Oh, that's an interesting concept. Allow list for secondary. Was that the concept of that?
Like, for example, if you released VX babies at Kongs and you gave Genesis were allowed to claim 2, VX were allowed to claim 1, and babies could claim 2 per 3 babies they have, something like that.
Yeah, interesting concept.
I think it'll keep getting perfected and looked at, and I guess, I mean, was Bored Apes the first project that moved away from FOMO ramps and just said like, right, every single one is the same price? Like, I think it was them.
Oh,
and then,
yeah.
Like things kind of changed from there, and we got to this point now.
If you ignore 600 projects before.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah. Well,
remember?
apart from the other 600 projects before, obviously, but you know.
Do you remember the learning curve on cheese? I think I paid 0.64 ETH for a chubby. Yeah, I did. Yes, I did. May they rest in peace.
The chubbies.
The chubbies.
Dude, I missed that. That was good. That was some good times. I always really liked the ticketing system that NFT boxes went for as well.
Yeah.
In terms of, you know, you can sign up. There's then I guess that's like the raffle thing again, or like a mint pass or whatever. I really kind of enjoyed that concept. But
Yeah, but we did it first.
Yeah.
I saw, what was it? Punks Comics. It was, you know, it was one of the classic Beanie things where he would just hype up whatever they were doing, and he was something like, "We're the first project to let you burn an NFT to then get another NFT." And I was like, "Well, actually, we did it in February before you guys had launched NFT boxes." And then he retweeted something like, "We were the first project that let you burn an ERC 721 to get another ERC 721 because our tickets were 1155s." It's like,
the tickets.
just reminds me of On-Chain Monkeys. We're like, "We were the first project to have all art on-chain in one transaction on a Wednesday."
And the developer was wearing a white T-shirt, right? No one else has done this. Oh man, that was the first NFT I ever bought that wasn't Top Shot. Was the March NFT boxes ticket?
No, that was because you did it afterwards as well, didn't you?
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna buy this right now.
like it was useless.
Completely.
Oh,
but it
that's
means
right.
something to me.
Yeah, that one you didn't need. That's right. Oh, it's too bad. It did have a good purpose. It did. It just
I liked it.
just kind of got caught in that bear. Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly.
I'm just in it for the art.
March one had already minted. He like bought it in April or
Oh,
something.
good
yeah,
God.
I did. Yeah. Just because
the,
I wanted the ticket. Because it's like, I think because I'd had the idea of like, well, what if when you use the ticket, you then got like a ripped one back? So I think I even bought like the ripped one as well.
Oh my God.
Or something.
Used ticket.
Because it's a used ticket stuff. I still think that's a really cool idea. I like that.
You didn't use the ticket. Someone else did. Someone else went to the concert, and you're now.
I stood outside. I'm like, dude, can I have your ripped ticket?
Billboard at home.
Oh, so good. I've got another question, Carlini, from the shill, the shill.pcc.eth. Hope you're doing well, buddy. It's one for you to ruminate on for a bit, and this is going to sound a little bit self-serving. This is from them. With token, now I'm not sure where this discourse has come from. I think it's come from one of your giveaway tweets so far this month, where long-term holders may get rewarded with more token. So he's asking, what about those that have come in recently but aped in and been really an active and invested part of the community? But I don't even know if the first part is kind of true or whether it's just conjecture at this point.
Well, one of my ideas on how to airdrop token, which I guess alpha on the way, but maybe alpha that never happens if someone comes to me and says it's done because of this, is to split the airdropped amount in half, and the first half will be a snapshot, you know, a normal sort of airdrop. There are 10,000 PCC, however many kittens. You average it out, and the percentage of that half that you get is based on your holdings at that snapshot. And I don't like that personally, because that's all about that exact moment in time. It doesn't potentially reward the people who got you there, or the people who helped you. Like the people who minted and then sold, they still helped us because, you know, potentially more than others, because that ETH went to us, whereas other ETH from sales from when we were, I think we hit 0.05 after mint for about 3 hours or so. People buying there had a lower price point and benefited, and they didn't as much, you know, help us if they then sold at 0.2 and moved on. But what I was thinking with that other half was to have sort of how long you have held a PCC is how much that other 50% is split. So it would be split based on per holdings and kitten holdings, and it would almost be the same. You could think of the numbers the same, but if you held one per from mint to snapshot, that would be like having one of the 10,000 of the pairs. But if you held from mint to halfway and then sold it, you would get half. You'd have 0.5, and someone would have then bought that from you. And if they then held it to snapshot, they get the other half of the airdrop for that per. If you think it'd be much easier on paper. I've got paper here, and it's like drawn out, and it's easy to say, right, this is how it breaks down. But when you have to visually describe with words, it gets a bit trickier. But so it would be half snapshot of the moment in time and half how long you've held your pairs. Would the same go for someone who minted kittens? Well, minted doesn't really matter. It's more about how long you would have had it. And if you mint it, generally that means you would have it longer. So yeah, it would be...
If you still have it.
You would have had it for long. Yeah, so it's sort of days owned. Whereas if you've owned a per for, how many days? Let's say it's 6 months. So, we're looking at 180 days. If you held 180 pairs for 1 day, you would have 1/10,000th of the pairs, because there are 10,000 pairs, and that would be the same as holding. That would be the same as holding 1 pair for the whole time. If you had 180 pairs for 3 days, that would be the same as holding 3 pairs since the start. And if you're Coco and you've had, I don't even know, 320 pairs, the Coco is going to get a large airdrop, and I wouldn't be surprised if you just gave it away or held on to it or didn't even know it existed.
We can hold another party.
Well, I mean, let's not go asking people for their money again. I mean, we were gifted that, but we cannot
he
go.
gave.
We can't start going having a party with an airdrop that we're about to give to someone because we don't think they'll know it exists.
We could have a party with some of our token, though. Maybe I don't know.
We could. There will also. So we're, these projects. They all go, okay, right. This is the cut for the airdrop. This is the cut. Where's my cuts piece of paper? So the tokenomics is still up for debate because, I mean, I still have a lot of people to talk about it with, try and flesh out my ideas, and then they can try and tell me why it's wrong and convince me what would break it. But currently, roughly about 60% would be daily yielded to all of our tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3s. And that would last just over 15 years. So you could almost think of it like your per has, let me just open up the calculator, because when you start doing stuff in 365.25s, it gets a little trickier. So your one PCC has almost 55,000 token inside of it, and it will release 10 a day for over 15 years. So the meme lots of people do is, they look at a token, they go, oh, what about its fully diluted market cap? And it's because of how ours is, the fully diluted market cap will be absolutely bonkers huge, but it'll be slowly released for 15 years, while our job as PurrS is to claw that token back from you. We need to make you want to spend that so that it's gone. We're going to make you want to either burn it or give it to us so that we can then do things with it. Get it out of circulation is the goal. So if you think about where are all of my numbers, I've got them all to hand. It's something like
I love the traditional method of like there's just papers scrabbling everywhere.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. When I'm sort of riffing, I do have spreadsheets as well. I'm a big Google Sheets fan. And I've got one here in front of me. But the issue with that is when I'm kind of just typing stuff up and, dragging the formulas across to know for each tier and year 1, year 2, year 3, it just gets messy when I'm not doing it properly. And yeah, I saw a tweet today from I think it was Kobe trolling Moonboy Carl or something like that. Yeah, so I'm so happy that Caster_app has chosen the longest vesting I've ever seen for any other crypto project before. Long-term thinking. And then the second picture is vest daily over 24 months, so 2 years, which, for example, is way less than Kong's. Kong's is 10 years. And to be honest, part of me just wanted to do longer because then Kongs have had to figure 5 years to figure out what to do when it stops yielding, right? So at that point, we will have definitely figured it out. It gives us a long runway to that we're all good. So this is yielding out daily, and our goal is to get rid of it. So I haven't heard of anything longer than 15 years. I think Hex, by the guy who I can see very vividly in my mind talking to Hello Kevin, meet Kevin. Hex founder, who was also the Ethereum founder, and I can't remember his name. Someone will know because he's a really, really famous guy. Hex lets you lock it up for however long you want, I think. So you can set someone will no doubt set 100 years. So I don't think you can ever claim to be the longest vesting. And also, if Alicat is listening, he'll get angry at me for the word vesting because it's apparently definitely wrong, but crypto bros use it to mean locked up when we really don't. Passive income frowned upon. So it is not passive income. It is the token that we will use in our ecosystem, which will fuel everything that you're doing within the Penelope's Country Club. We will not be providing liquidity for the token, because if we do, that means we are then giving you passive income. What you do with your own token is up to you, but we only want you to spend it on... I'm just looking at my roadmap
There he goes. Careful now.
That I posted upside down.
Mate, that was insane. It was literally everyone in the community suddenly became Batman. It's like, all right, cool, all right. I flipped it. Now I've put it in negative.
In the negative, you can clearly see right down the middle a huge token.
That was wild.
But even some of the small text as well. I'm proud of this. This image is better than all my other work. Good.
It's pretty good. It's like it comes into the work service like, oh hey, do you want to see some art? I'm like, oh cool. What's Charlie been cooking up? What's Katie been cooking up now? They've been working on in secret. I didn't know about. It's just like it's the scribblings of a madman. It's like, hey, here we go. It's like, oh boy.
What was the token question again?
We got to
airdrop part.
Yes, so it was. I think it was the questioning around if you've been here since the start, do you get more than someone who's got into it in a big way recently? Okay. And I think the answer was basically, if you own 1 for 10 days, it's the same as owning 10 for 1 day. So if
half the airdrop,
yeah.
So I was going into the tokenomics. So we've saved team allocations. So 60% is every tier, for over 15 years, and that will yield. The only token that doesn't daily yield in this current plan that I assume is possible is the airdrop. And that will go to the community in that 50-50 split I've just explained currently. This is the current plan in my head that hasn't gone through vetting. So I haven't checked with Big Brains. I haven't checked with the team. This is just my current sort of thinking as I go on. Which then leaves 35%, which will be split into sort of different team sections, which will also daily yield. So we're not going to have this 35% that we can just dump on people. We will have 35%, which we can use as a team that will yield daily. And I guess I could say what's coming. So the plan, we've got Roadmap 2.0. Roadmap 2.0 is in front of me, and there's a lot of work on Roadmap 2.0. There's a lot of stuff for us to do. This is a when we launched, it said something like if we get over 5,000, was it 5,000 or 4,000 holders?
It's 4,000.
We'll guarantee work for 2 years. And
4,000 is also Papa Tattoo.
How is it? And when that at that plan, at that point in time, it was what, 4 of us hired? And
yeah.
It didn't look like we were getting there anytime soon. So instead, we hired more people, and we've sort of grown to this. Our floor is around 0.3, and then you times that by 10,000, and then you times that by 3,000 for our market cap, and it's we're a big project at this point, and that requires a lot of people to work on it. And Roadmap 2.0 is potentially going to take us to that 2-year point. I mean, that's the 2 years is kind of an arbitrary time to just 2 years from when we started minting. But what I want is to get team funds to cover us to that point in fiat in a bank account, so that everyone in our community knows that we are here funded no matter what happened. Bear market, NFT bear market, crypto bear market, sort of whole world bear market, because presumably money will be good in a whole world bear market, unless it's not. But we're funded and have that level of runway. So one of my ideas is to sell a portion of our team allocated token. And I sort of originally, when we were discussing token before we set up the companies in BVI to sort of sort those out, I had spoken to some companies that had done sort of VC allocation sales, ones that had done them for Axie Infinity, ones that had done them for Sandbox. Spoke to the same people who did the Treeverse VC sale, the RumbleKongs VC sale, and they'd said, you can, with your current level of volume, which was a lot less than it is now, they thought they could easily sell to VCs at a 25 mil market cap for our token. Now, my worry there was, say you sell 10% of your token to VCs, who can, the normal sort of build, which we couldn't have done the 15 years vested thing. We'd have had to have done something like locked for a year, half unlocks, and then slowly unlocks from there for the next year. And after 2 years, it's all fully unlocked. You've then got people probably going to dump on you, just because that's kind of how VCs go, at least in this space at the moment. There are some very good ones, but when you're sort of going, hey, we need money and here's anyone to buy, you're not guaranteed only good ones. So what I then thought is maybe I'll reach out to some friends and I checked the level of interest, and there are a few degens, but it wouldn't have been enough for sort of selling how much we need to guarantee that Roadmap 2.0 can become to be a thing. We'll also need funds for, so the runway will allow us, current costs, current staff, so we can pay them, pay off taxes, sort of the management tools that we use, paying Dropbox to host our internal files, all the sort of stuff that you just have to pay as a business. That would cover that. But then we'll also want to be able to work with projects on X and Y, and host something in the real world and all of this sort of stuff. So we've been building up sort of an exact amount of token that we would need to sell, and the goal would be to sell an NFT that yields token at, currently unsure the amount, but the key part is if it yields 10, like a PCC, it would cost about half whatever the floor of PCC is. So in theory, if all you care about is token, this would be a good buy for you, but it's also not part of the club. So we're trying to raise funds, making it a good buy for the buyers while not making it a bad buy for our current PCC holders. So it's a tight sort of rope to walk, to benefit your new buyers and your old buyers. So the main takeaway for current PCC holders would be you will have the option. Obviously, holders of PCC will be the first allowed in. We won't let randoms in before people have been here and holding our project. But we will then be guaranteed to be working on your project. Well, I'd say your project, our project, all of our projects, for until at least year 2. And again, I said this like when we were first minting, when we came out, that is an absolute minimum if everything dies. The money is in the bank to keep going until then, for sure, even if ETH goes to $1. Whereas many projects won't be able to do that because you can see that they're still holding ETH. We will hold ETH, but we will ensure that funds, that level of funding is in, we're in the UK, so it'll be in pounds. And that's the sort of level of, we're going to be working on your project for that long. And, if something happens to me or any of the other teams, they will then have funds to hire someone in to replace them if something does happen. It then also allows us to work with others. So we have a team allocated amount, which is to secure deals. And then we also have a team allocated amount, which is to incentivize hiring. So not sure if I'm allowed to say it because I don't know. It's a bit like when companies offer, this isn't like even leaking alpha, this is like regulation. Like when companies offer stock options, to sort of, because the salaries we pay, they're competitive, but this isn't a crazy, we've taken in 2 mil, let's pay everyone loads. You'd probably be surprised, these NFT projects that are thinking long term, they won't be paying insane amounts, whereas the ones that are just rugging and taking your money, I'm sure they'll be quite happy with their percentages. But we'll be able to use token, again vested, to incentivize our current team to stay on, to incentivize new team members to come on. And then we will also be able to use some of our other allocated token to secure collabs, promotions, brand deals. So the goal here is sort of to have a final sale in ETH. Whereas if we drop another sale in the future, my current plans we could change, maybe it would have to, but very much the plan is that would then always be in token. So, Cool Cats are selling pets today. Well, they've been selling them for a while, and I don't actually know if that public mint is even happening today. Been a little out of it the last few hours. But there, I think I can't remember the price. Is it 0.5 ETH or something along those lines? If we were to then do that later down the line, that would be in token, not ETH. So for them, it would be as if they were selling that in milk. But this is their second sale, and this that I'm talking about now would be our second sale. So technically, it's the same, but it's just an example to sort of give on the space. So it would be aiming for that token sort of burn, I guess, because if we're selling an NFT for token, then we can burn a large majority of that token. Because if you just, this is one of the really hard things for projects, because yielding tokens are going to be amazing. They're just great for the project. It just allows so much more for your company to be able to do that. But there are everyone needs a token sync. If you're buying merch in token and then I have to buy the merch in pounds and send it to you, I then have to sell enough token to cover the merch. Whereas if I'm selling an NFT, I don't really have to cover anything. There will be a bit of gas to set things up, but I would sell very little token, at which point we could then potentially burn the token, get rid of it, send to charity. I don't well, that's not really a sink at that point because the charity dumps on you. But it's very complicated on how to use token syncs. And lots of people could have lots of ideas, and lots of stuff is on this roadmap that I'm looking at. But if any pounds are spent, that needs to be covered, or it's just not sustainable. So what we would be aiming for is, say we collab with Nike are done, Adidas are done. So let's say
It's got to be Puma, right? Because they're a cat.
Donne.
Let's get the Donnes in.
We're all wearing Donnes, and we've collabed with them. We could instead use our token as a sort of incentive. Hey, we can give you this amount of token, but we don't have to just give them a bulk of token which they then dump. Like I said, the only sort of unvested token is going to be the airdrop, which isn't to us, it's to cat holders. So I will get some because I have cats. Peter has cats, so he'll get some. Everyone here presumably would get some. But we will be able to give Donne a vested. In my head, it's an NFT. It's an NFT that yields sort of our deal. So we make a deal with them. They get however much a day, and that will yield daily from wherever they keep that NFT. And they can they can move that around wherever they want, and it will just for 15 years, or say we make this deal in 2 years, so it's only actually got 13 years left. We almost have an allocation of a certain amount of daily token, and if we allocate that daily token, it's almost like for the next 13 years it's allocated as well, because it will go to these people. So we can put it into an NFT, send that NFT to the collab, and then they're almost invested in our project, because every day they're getting something that they could sell. Often when you collab with people and you give them anything, we collabed with a Twitch streamer, I think it was Fortnite. They just reached out. We weren't selling out, or maybe we were. I can't remember what point in time it was, and they wanted 5 cats, I think it was. So I sent them 5 cats. They were all listed pretty quick. But when you send token that yields daily, they're sort of, they're interested. They're always looking. Maybe Donne wouldn't always be looking, but artists, when you're working with an individual artist, maybe they would then come back and look. Maybe they'll be incentivized to help more because, in a way, they'd be pumping their forever bags. So I think it's just a smart way of using our token to sort of leverage the community, because the community will give token its value, and we will then be able to use that to bring in people to bring value for the community. So it's almost like this sort of circle that's self-fulfilling for everyone. So it just gives us the power to do much more for the community and deliver on Roadmap 2.0. So I've got some lovely drawings that I've drawn for this.
I'm hoping you're going to pass them through Charlie so she can make them look good.
What? You don't think they should just be mine?
I feel like you releasing your own collection of your art would be quite funny.
They might hammer home that it's not part of the club. I'm going to send it to I've just taken a picture of what I drew. I'm going to send it to the company Discord now.
Henry, did you get all that?
Good God. Bro, I just looked over at one of our holders that I work with, and I think I probably mouthed something with my hands up in the I don't know kind of motion. But you know what? If I could see the piece of paper that he's talking about, maybe that would help me. No, hey, I can decipher it. I think what he's trying to say is token equals good.
Yes, correct. Yeah? I got that.
Okay. Also, token equals good for people who have never sold. Okay, take me for instance. Never sold a PUR, been in since day one. Will have more token than person who just bought today. Is that correct?
Love it.
Yes, but I've tried to make sure that it's not hugely offset. So what's the intent of another sale? So the intent of another sale is to fund the team and to allow us to deliver Roadmap 2.0. We have a lot of ambitious things on here, and I mean, just go and look at. You can look at the company Etherscan account and see how much we're getting from OpenSea in our revenue from secondary sales, from the secondary market. It's just not sustainable at its current rate to keep the team going. So we do have to sell something to keep the team going. We were too generous with what we did with our original sale without another sale. So I know we raised 800 Ethereum in the first sale, but well over half of that went right back in. And I think we put out the exact numbers in a tweet recently. It might have even been in my pinned tweet. I can't remember. But I wouldn't be surprised if it was, 550 Ethereum, 600 Ethereum that we put back in to things like the Kitty Vault, community wallet, paying for profile pictures, given away to charity, carbon negative. Then obviously we pay our staff. We're funding the hoodies, the models, the comics. What else did we do? We send out the airdrops every month. Cost us about 10 Ethereum. So if we're looking at about 50 ETH spent on those so far, which I think is more than we've pulled in on the secondary, for example. So just airdropping the stuff has removed all of our secondary income. So why the sale is to get more funds to keep the team going currently, and then to expand the team, and then to fund what we're doing on Roadmap 2.0. So it's probably not a surprise to say that on the roadmap it talks about a location metaverse. So that I feel like leaking that is fine, because it's not. It's just
I feel like we already have with the 3D
Oh.
models and stuff as well. I'm pretty sure I said that last night.
But for example, it will cost Ethereum to buy a large plot on Sandbox or NFT Worlds, and it will also cost Ethereum to have someone build on it, because we don't have any pro Minecraft players as far as I'm aware. But I've seen some amazing builds, so we would then also want to fund people to do that. So that is where all the money will be going, and I feel like we've been pretty open with our original sale and where that 800 ETH has gone. So, I'm quite happy to show the majority of the list. I'm not going to, give away everyone's salary, but you can tell from what's left is, we're not just LARPing and running home to the bank. It's I don't feel we pay anyone anywhere near enough, but we just don't have the funds for that, and we're just raising funds to grow the team, fund the team, have that runway, deliver this lovely picture that
There will be a lovely picture someday.
Okay, I've got a question. How do
Let's go.
Super broad question, but tokens get everybody excited, right? Like, we've been waiting for this awesome moment in the roadmap, and you've gone about it in a way where it's like very safe, meaning like it's legal. So I think a lot of people, because so many projects drop and they have a yield token, and then everybody just assumes that means, oh my gosh, we're going to cash out. There's going to be a liquidity pool, and everybody's going to just have this endless flow of the P word, and the word, the two words we shouldn't be saying. So what I'm wondering is, like, how do you envision that the community gives value to token? Are we going to be using token as, because I've heard a few things that we've talked about, in the past or heard on spaces before. Token is sort of going to be, okay, here's I guess my question in a nutshell. You have like Top Dog Beach Club that has snacks. They use that as like their sort of in-game currency, is maybe a word for it. You can earn it. You can use that to enter raffles and things like that. Banana is a token that fuels the Kongs ecosystem. We used it for breeding. Obviously, we're using it for the new play and collect game. What's your like overall thought on token, or is it going to be different than anything else that's out there as far as what we use it for?
it will be used in everything that we do. So, for example, this isn't actually on Roadmap 2.0, it's just an example. So currently, we are sending out airdrops for hoodies, for models, for records, for comics, and we send these out, and then you burn them and get that physical. So I know they're numbered, but in a way, you're getting this free physical, mostly because at least for us, we send out 10,000 of these, and the hoodies are 10 each, which means effectively we need to buy 1,000 hoodies, and we're not getting paid for those. Those 1,000 hoodies are effectively airdropped out. And I know people will trade them, and not everyone is given 10, and some people get 30, and you're not going to claim 30 hoodies. But from our point of view, we're airdropping that out. So everything in the future will be token. So we wouldn't be airdropping an NFT. You would be yielding your NFT from your pairs, or your tier 2s, or your companions, and then you would be able to claim the hoodie with however many of those. So you're sort of slowly over time saving up for a hoodie, or for a model, or for whatever we're dropping. And I'm just looking at this and the roadmap 2.0 in front of me, and I guess it's just, I'm not going to say what's on it. I want there to at least be some kind of surprise when it's dropped, and when people see what the token will be used on. But I guess it's worth saying my I spend hours every day looking at what everyone's doing, thinking about what token can do, what any token can do, not just ours. I even think about what apes could do, what Kongs could do, even what hash masks could be doing with theirs. I'm constantly solving that solves everything. So I guess it's worth saying, if I thought that breeding for baby Kongs was a good idea, it's likely that we're going to do it. If I think, using token for a game is a good idea, we're probably going to do it. If I think using token to rename your hash masks is a good idea, we're probably going to do it. So if I see it and think it's a good idea, I'm going to use these funds that we raise to make sure that it's a thing. If it works, if someone comes out with, the next Call of Duty somehow, and you need a daily yielding token from Meta Hero to play or whatever, if you need PAL, I think it's called, then no, we're probably not going to copy that. But it will be to the level that we can work at. And it was, someone asked earlier about the sale. Doesn't this technically reduce the yield of PurrS V1? And the answer to that is no, because we are selling our allocation. So 60% of the whole token will yield from the current NFT set plus tier 2 plus the companion. So tier 2 won't even be out when token comes along. So that's why I know that it's over 15 years, because that token pool will only be drained later, because it depends when these tier 2s are minted and start yielding themselves. And then we've got the airdrop percentage, and the rest comes to the team. And the team almost has a daily amount that we yield, and that is split between the two versions I spoke about before, which was the team allocated token for the collabs and promos and using it that way, and then the team allocated token for incentives to thank the team who have been here so far and to lure in more excellent team members. We will be selling some of that. So this token would already exist. I had always planned for this token to exist. That will always be daily yielding, and that would eventually go to someone. So if we were yielding it anyway, and then we use it in a brand deal, whoever that is more likely to sell it than us, I would say. I think the team is more likely to diamond hands their own token than someone who has just done a collab for whatever type of media or brand, whatever it is. So we would then be selling it to our community, who are, I'd say they're less likely to hold it than us, but more likely to hold it than the collab deals. So it's coming out of that percentage, so it's not diluted. And this it's worth noting, this isn't anything to do with the Kitty Vault, so that value isn't being diluted in any way. These NFTs will not have that attached. They are purely yielders, so in no way will it be diluting.
I'm so excited for token now. It's just going to be, yeah, like you keep saying, it's just going to inform everything that we do from here on out. And to kind of, I think if we can take anything away from all that knowledge and that you've been dropping just there, is how much you're thinking about this, how much we're into this, how much we are going to keep building and try and do this correctly and do this sustainably. And I know we say it all the time, kind of, internally, this is all built to last, I guess. So yeah, really, really cool.
Is there going to be a party? Are we going to have like a giant token party?
Oh, there'll be a party.
Yeah, cool.
You better believe it, baby. You better believe it.
We also have token that we could maybe give away, and we can get token on the Discord bot.
We can bring it back. We can bring back the tip bot. I'm still getting asked questions about that. We did it for one night and one night only, Henry, and I'm still getting asked about it.
Yes,
dude.
yesterday, didn't they? About banana.
They're like, what does banana what does V2 banana mean for the tip bot? I'm like, I don't know. Like, you're in the wrong Discord.
We can get token loaded up in Tipbot and rain it down upon people. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
That'll be really fun.
That'd be great. That'd be really cool. Henry, talk to me about what you're up to at the moment. What's going on with you? What's coming next for the Kongs? Talk to me.
So, okay, what's coming up next for me? I'm going to ETH Denver next weekend. Kongs have a little thing they're going to be doing out there. So 18th, 19th, 20th, I'm going to Denver. I was hoping we were all going to go to Vegas, but I know Vegas, canceled. So after that, I believe might be NFT LA. So there's some in real life events, and then we're getting ready on the Kong side for the play and collect game, which should be dropping this month. Owl is saying February it's on track for that, and people are like, they're excited about it, but there's always an element like, Kongs are sort of it's an ecosystem, and so I think some people come into the ecosystem and they hear about banana because you have YouTubers talking about things like, passive income, which is just horrible for the scene because they come in and they just think like, oh my gosh, you're making, it's like that. The liquidity pool has literally nothing to do with the cyberkongs. And so our ecosystem was, I don't want to say it's complicated. You just have to understand it. We had our Jennies and then babies and VXs. And now we've got, we were all looking forward to Sandbox Q1, and they kind of dropped this out of, they kind of dropped this on us unexpectedly. We knew they were working on something, but we didn't know exactly what. They alluded to certain things like babies will be keys. And so we've got this adventure run game coming out for VXs, and it's a twist on play to earn. Instead, it's this play and collect. And it's going to be this new, I mean, I know you guys know Owl, and he's obviously a really...
Oh, you better believe it.
Right? Like, he's a cool dude. And I can only... Who has been wanting to leak this for so damn long. He just, I can only imagine Owl and Coco and Mio and Inverted all trying to figure this stuff out, all the mechanics of this. And I think it's just going to be exciting to see. This is sort of going to be they said it's an experiment because this, if you want to call it platform, this system is going to be a way that they can release future NFTs. You might have to level up your VX in order to go on an adventure where you trigger an event, and maybe your VX has to be a level 10 in order to collect, maybe the next line of cyberkongs. So it's just going to be really interesting to see, how does the community react to it when the game comes out? And I'm excited to see how that is. And I'm just excited to see all of these projects, these quality projects from 21. Just excited to see, where do these things end up in 2022? Because we're just inundated with so many new projects, right? Like, how many play to earn games have we seen? And it's one of the things I've loved about Penelope's. I've always said this, I am no expert, but I've seen so many parallels between cyberkongs and Purrs. I mean, they are two communities that are look at my profile picture in Penelope's. It's a Kong and a Penelope.
I love it.
And it's because I genuinely love both communities. And I think what I love about them is that they just haven't been working towards price points. It's they don't care. Of course we care what the price of the project we invested in is. Of course, there's subliminally, we all care, subconsciously, I should say. But the reality is that can't dictate the roadmap, and it can't dictate how the team reacts to the current state of the market. So it's you just build and you keep working towards whatever it is you're working towards. And it's one of the things, we've been on this journey in Penelope's for quite some time, and we are we're excited in the same way people were excited for CyberKongs to come out with this next iteration of CyberKongs, this new game. Same thing with Penelope's. I just see so many parallels between them. Both communities have amazing devs. Like Hodl is awesome. Owl is awesome. I just feel like we're two loving communities, and I honestly I just can't wait to see where we go. So I am insanely busy. When you asked if I could come on Spaces, I had said, like, dude, it feels, I don't want to say like a homecoming because that makes it seem like, oh, I'm some big, no, I'm comfortable around you guys. You know me since like the very, very beginning, bro, when I posted a picture in NFT boxes of somebody who shot a bear on his property. And you just nicely said to me, hey, love your energy, but we just don't want this to be like the first thing people see when they come into the Discord. So I love to see how everybody has grown, and I love coming back and like seeing all the people in this space that I've become friends with, and it was awesome, dude. I just love being around you guys and being a part of it.
I'd completely forgotten that was like my first interaction with you. You were jamming with somebody of like just chatting, like sharing stories and stuff, and then it was just like all of a sudden like a bear that'd been. I'm like, oh, like can't have this, but how do I do this? I think I'd been doing shit with NFC boxes for like 3 days or something. I'm like, oh man, what do I say?
You were this mystical guy to me that had a yellow name, so I knew you were important. And I remember thinking like, oh man, he's chatting with me and he likes my energy. Like, that's awesome. And we've all just become like friends over the past year, and it genuinely is special to me. Like, anybody that knows me in real life, which like people that I work with that are PURRs, like they know your names. I can refer to Carlini or Peter and they know who I'm talking about. And it's just cool to see how people who never met each other before have developed relationships all over the world. And one of the things I should say I'm also really looking forward to is when we get some in real life meetups, because
hell yeah,
COVID obviously has made things difficult, but I know people are just really excited to like get together in a space with other PURRs. I just think that's going to be a really fun time.
Yeah.
Any events on the horizon for you guys to come across the pond, or?
There's been some stuff that we've looked into and that we've thought about. I don't think we've got anything like definite locked in. I think it's definitely something we want to do. We know
a tweet about ETH Denver, and it was something like ETH Denver is during the Super Bowl and Valentine's Day. What does that tell you about this space?
Oh, yeah. Good point. Yeah, good point.
Spot on.
Dude, I want to give just a shout out to Kelroy. I know he's in here because I see him and I work with him. So I have a flooring store in real life. I jokingly say like I rug people for a living, and he was the fine gentleman who sold the store to me. And his first NFT was a PURR. He's rocking the headband 3D glasses. And
nice.
Yeah, I see him out there. So I know he's home, and I just wanted to say hello.
Well, thanks for coming in, Kel. I appreciate it.
Yeah. He's always asking about PURRs. He's a little older, like not old by any means, but a little harder for him to figure out all the Discord, Twitter, all that kind of stuff. But he keeps updated on it.
Wow, let's get him on the TikTok.
Oh, he is a TikTok fiend. And
here we go.
The dude is a dancer. He's got some moves.
Let's go. We can do a stitch, Kelroy, me and you. We'll do a dance off stitch. We'll do it.
Oh, that'd be good, dude. That'd be good. Your hair. He's got great hair. You have great hair. Carlini has great hands. I mean, we got a good
thing going on.
Good thing going on.
Oh, I love it. That's awesome. Carlini, was something else you wanted to touch on this evening, and then you want to share about what you've been up to apart from this?
I've got Roadmap 2.0. I'm planning out tokenomics. I'm planning out this sale. I'm planning out what we're going to do with token. Got got my to-do list. Yeah, all these people I need to talk to. Yeah, lots of stuff going on.
Love it.
And I guess everyone will see everything when 2.0 is out there.
Once Charlie prettifies everything, then we're good to go, right?
Not good as it is, I think.
Just as is. Just fax it to everyone. It'll be fine. Henry, Yoda, thank you so much for coming on and chatting with us, man. It's been a blast having you on and just shooting the breeze, chatting about Kongs, chatting about Purrs. Been great chatting to you, brother. Really appreciate
thank you.
it.
And we got to get you on Kong Spaces to talk Purrs. Maybe when Token drops, we do another Spaces together. That would be awesome. Love hanging with you guys.
That would be really, really cool. Yeah, this kind of opens up what we're going to be trying to do every Wednesday of get someone in that third chair. We've obviously had a few voices from our own community. There's a few more voices that we need to have on as well. I think next week we're planning on getting Snacks from the Stonercast podcast coming on, so that'll be really exciting.
Snacky poo.
We can chat some more cat stuff.
Todd just completely fuming. So.
I'm kind of changing. I'm turning it into a meme at this point.
Poor guy's just at home crying. Like, what?
He's like, get me on. Just crying into his piranha tank.
Banging on before Hoddle. What?
So yeah, that was awesome. Appreciate everyone listening. Appreciate you if you've made it all the way through. If you're listening to this back on YouTube or if you're listening to it back on Twitter. Come say hi in the Discord. Come ask for Hoddle on the podcast, and maybe I'll do it one day. Who knows?
Hoddle, yes.
Get him on. Is he still listening? Is he gone? It's too sad.
We need Hoddle.
We do. There's lots of stuff. I think when the time is ripe, we'll get him on.
Love it.
Henry, thank you so much for coming on, bro. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, bro. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Nah, completely. And love to you and yours. Carlini, thank you for coming on as always. Appreciate it.
Cool. No problem.
And yeah, we'll see you guys next week.
All right, bro. Meow, meow.
Meow. Meow, 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 meow.
All right, take care.
Cheers.